This is Group M1's Clean Air and Water Problem Presentation by Sean Bautista, Isaiah Shinkeni, Jarit Gill, Ami Unami, and Daniel Ferlizzi. To determine where we should first start, we wanted some insight on what people affected by the problem believe the primary cause of it is. With this data, we started to develop our problem statement. With a global challenge such as clean air and water, we believed it was only appropriate to have our users be from all around the world, which is why we posted our survey in several locations accessible to anyone. The problem we established is the use of fossil fuels as a primary source of energy has caused a great amount of both air and water pollution. We were also directed to this problem statement by the articles which we found and the use of the 5 whys and fishbone diagram. This is our fishbone diagram, and this is our 5 whys.
Well, to begin going in depth about our problem statement and how we arrived at it, we first need to acknowledge that obtaining clean air and water is a problem in the first place. To prove this, we looked at a number of sources including our public survey, asking what people think causes water and air pollution. The results of the survey were clear. Fossil fuels are what a majority believe are the causes of air and water pollution. The primary pollutants in fossil fuels are nitrogen and carbon dioxide. Large amounts of them go into the atmosphere, which reduce the overall quality of the air, making it poor to breathe in. These two gases also can go into bodies of water. Nitrogen causes water pollution and gives rise to harmful algae, while the ocean absorbs about 30% of carbon dioxide, which in turn causes the salt water to become more acidic. Now, looking at our government official sources, they say air pollution is recognized globally as a major contributor to the development of disease and premature death and represents the largest environmental risk factor to human health. The effects of fossil fuels burning don't need to be looked into, as it's clear their effect on our water and atmosphere is bad.
Our objective has 3 primary goals in mind: to increase air and water quality, reduce cost, and increase safety for the workers in these facilities. To increase air and water quality, research can be conducted to discover more cleaner sources of energy or improve upon existing technologies to increase their efficiency. Several plans can also be laid out to further support this transition, such as by encouraging the phasing of fossil fuel energy. As well, we can appeal to people's competitive nature by implementing a system that lets them compete with others. To reduce costs, we can research cheaper alternative materials to use along with technologies that are more cost-efficient to maintain. When planning where these power facilities are being built, cheap land is located and used. To further reduce costs, we can lobby the government for a subsidy on sustainable energy sources. To increase safety, we can research technology that can reduce the risk of malfunctions with these technologies, and research safety practices that reduce the risk of accidents. We can also develop plans and procedures in case of an emergency, and we can also make safety guidelines mandatory for factories and punish companies that don't comply with safety regulations through fines.
Constraints. Overview. Constraints are basically obstacles that come in the way of achieving our identified goal. The constraints can be broken down into broad topics. The following topics affect our ability to efficiently improve air and water quality: cost, environmental factors, stage of development, dependence on energy, and change of lifestyle. Examples. So the following obstacles in specific that affect the broad topics are the following. The level of technology across the world is at different levels to use. The solution has to be something in which we can depend on. Development and implication of alternative sources can't cost too much. If any disturbance of natural habitats, it must be kept to a reasonable amount, and people are choosing comfort over good change in lifestyle. So data review. As you can see from this chart, this is a chart of all the provinces in Canada and the deaths each year caused due to air pollution. It's a good example of the air pollution in our society and how it needs to change for the better of the people.
In order to achieve a successful project, we should identify and plan to achieve the criteria and also use metrics to measure the design against the criteria. So in our project, we identify some of the criteria like slowing down global warming, increasing in air and water quality, and also reduction of days of living organisms associated with poor air and water quality. Some of the plans to achieve these criteria are eliminating the source of pollution or to reduce their emission. This can be done by reducing the use of fossil fuel and replacing them with alternative energies. And the most important thing is to analyze these metrics before and after the solution. This will definitely show the outcome of our project and how effective and successful it is. This graph shows at which period of time the measure to tackle global warming was successful and at what time it was unsuccessful. For instance, between 1940s to 1960s, there was significant outcome in slowing down the global warming. I hope you enjoyed our presentation. Thank you.